If you're feeling lost, stay with me for a minute. I'm 53 and I have been called resilient. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I have felt lost many times in my life. I feel like women go through all these changes and all these reinventions, from being single to being married to being a mom to being a wife to being empty nest, divorced, toxic relationships, all these different things that we have to keep reinventing ourselves for. And people call me resilient, and I wasn't sure how I was doing it. I had been through many things, 2 divorces, a hurricane, many times of having the rug pulled out from under me, a very toxic relationship, and then looking back, a few toxic relationships. And I discovered that I was in a cycle of, I don't know, shooting myself in the foot or self-sabotage. And I wasn't sure why. So I also wasn't sure how I kept bouncing back. And after a toxic relationship, getting out of it and feeling more lost than I ever have. Like, I'd been through 2 divorces and a breakup after 12 years. And I'd been through a lot of things, and I really wasn't sure how I kept landing on my feet. My life makes my family very nervous because I've never really settled down and been stable as far as where I live, what I'm doing. And it's because I never followed myself. I was always trying to be what everybody else thought I should be. And I would be what everybody else thought I should be, and completely miserable being that. So when I finally embraced who I was, when I finally found who I was, untied from my past, and started really thinking about how I kept bouncing back, and that I don't have to fit anyone's mold, I became truly me. And I'm doing this with no makeup on and no filters and none of this stuff because I'm just speaking from my heart. So I'm not a psychologist. I'm not anyone but somebody who has lived through a lot of things and survived it. And in the best way I know how. And I want to share that with you. I want to share the steps that I go through because I finally broke it down and said, well, what do I do? And I was missing one vital step at the beginning when I started doing it, and I added it in because it has become the most vital step in the process. So power isn't just a word to me. It is the P.O.W.E.R. Each letter means something, and I was walking myself through these steps without being conscious of it. And when I finally started being conscious of it, I was like, oh, I would love to teach other people this, because it helps so much to find yourself and to live unapologetically you. I think your power is seriously what makes you uniquely you, and living that way unapologetically. So I'm going to run through it really quick. There's so much more to it, and it's such a deep dive into who you are. It is truly self-love as I see it. It is not going to a salon and getting a mani-pedi and a new hairdo. It's not about getting a massage. It's truly practicing self-love in the way that you stop going through cycles, or you at least get to recognize where the self-sabotage is coming from and how to stop it. So the first step is to make peace with your past. And that's untying from things in your past that caused you trauma or pain, and realizing either it wasn't your fault at all and had nothing to do with you, or there are things you need to change in order to stop those cycles from happening. So if something traumatic happened and you're not recognizing it and you're not making peace with it, that's the first step to do. It's a deep dive. It's hard work. It depends on what your trauma was, and everybody's different. I truly believe that trauma is trauma no matter how bad it was. So I've gone through a few, and they're all different degrees. So I am not going to say that your trauma was more or less than anyone else's. I'm going to say it's valid. If it made you feel like you had been through a trauma, then it's valid. 100%, no matter what it was. The part of it is untying from that, making peace with it and leaving it in the past where it belongs. And then you find your passion and you find a purpose. Everybody needs a direction in their life in which to head. I don't think you ever get to your purpose. I think that's the compass. So that's part of it. The O is for overwhelm. When you feel overwhelmed, what do you do with it? How can you make, get in a peaceful place with your overwhelm? How do you change your outlook? O is for outlook as well. Is your outlook, do you wake up thinking, oh my God, this is my life and I hate it and this is all there is? You've got to change that. And finding your purpose and your passion, like everything builds on, one thing builds onto the next, right? So you find your passion and your purpose, your outlook starts to change. And what are the words? W is for words. What are the words that were said to you, or the titles that were given to you? Were you too much of this and not enough of that? What are you replaying in your head? I'm not good enough. I'm stressed out. I'm overwhelmed. I'm this, I'm that. What are you saying out to the world? What are your words that are coming out of your mouth to other people? That's really, really important. And your wisdom. You have to embrace the wisdom that you've got. If you're over 50, you've got a lot of wisdom, whether you know it or not. Let's recognize that. E is for energy. The energy you're putting out into the world, the energy that you're surrounding yourself with is so important. And then there's the universal energy that you really need to connect with. I believe that we all carry that energy inside of us, and to connect with other people and to connect with that, that energy that is within us all and that is bigger than all of us. That energy put us here on this earth with gifts that we need to distribute to the world. We were given those gifts to give out. So how do you get in a place to do that? R. So the R is responding instead of reacting. It's slowing down before you are in a reactive state. And many of us are in a reactive state because we're so overwhelmed. So all of these, see how you deal with each thing one at a time. And by the time you get to R, you'll be able to handle responding instead of reacting. And then it's the recovering yourself. It is really recovering your power, which is that which makes you uniquely you. I am going through another, I go through this multiple times, anytime that I feel lost, anytime that I want to pivot and make a shift. It's a lot of perspective. It's a lot of deep digging, deep diving. Like I said, I'm not a professional. This is not made to replace any therapy. You might use this in your therapy if you're getting it, but hopefully it will be something that you can relate to, and that step by step we can go through this and help you find yourself. I really think it's important. I think it's the part of self-love that everybody misses. Where do I go from here? How do I practice self-love? What does that really mean? And I was so lost, I needed a roadmap. So if that's where you feel like, someone tell me which step to take today to get there. That's the gap that I fill in everything that I've seen, researched, and read with self-help and self-love. I hope you will follow along with me. If you know somebody that may be in a transitional point or feeling lost, or if it's you, give me a like and a follow, subscribe, go to my YouTube channel, whatever, and share this out. This is how I get to do this and share it with you. And I can't do it without you. And I appreciate that you're here. And I want so much for everyone to not feel alone and to feel like you're with somebody on this journey. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope to see you next time.